Hi everybody, Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness Personal Training Studio, and today we're talking about getting some sexy abs for Valentine's Day. So as always on Mondays, it's pretty packed out in the studio, so I'm doing these from the office. Hope you can see well enough to know what's going on, and we'll kind of go through it. So I've got 3 great exercises for you. You've got 3 different options on these. You can go with the novice version, the intermediate, or the pro version. The novice, excuse me, would be going 30 seconds through each exercise twice through. So you do exercise A, B, C again. The intermediate version would be to go for 45 seconds for 3 sets through. So A, B, C. The pro version would be to either go for a minute for each for 3 sets, or to start it out in a ladder version. So a ladder builds strength through muscular fatigue. So we build the muscular endurance, but we're fatiguing the muscles over time. And that's where we might do 10 reps of one exercise, 10 reps of the second, 10 reps of the third, and then go back and do 9, 9, 9, and then 8, 8, 8, and so forth, all the way down to 1. By the time you get to 1, you're pretty fatigued, you feel a lot going on. Now remember that with any good core work, we want to make sure that our foundations are secure, that we've really got the core engaged, that our abdominal muscles are engaged, excuse me, so we're pulling the belly button in towards the spine and up towards the chin. We're engaging like we're coughing or sneezing rather than sucking in. Remember that when you suck in, all you do is merely displace organs rather than activate muscle. If you want those sexy abs to come through, you've got to actually activate the muscles. So we need to engage that core, really tighten those muscles and use them right. There is a plank in here. We want to make sure that our back's not sagging down or anything like that. And how often should you do ab work? Well, you could do it every day, but same thing as everything else. If you don't give yourself a little break here and there, then it can cause you to overtrain and therefore work backwards and end up seeing less tone and more sag through the muscles. So what we'd rather see you do is either an every other day approach, or take 3 days on and take a day off, so that you're getting multiple avenues of what you're doing. We definitely want to be cross-training with that, so we're going to be sure that we're working the abdominal muscles, but that we're also getting a full body workout and a cardiovascular workout. Now, when it comes down to it, where are the abs made? In the kitchen. The workouts are awesome. They feel great. They're definitely going to build the muscle tone, but if you're not eating right, you'll never show off what's underneath that flab. So we got to get rid of the extra fat and make sure to build that muscle tone so that you can really enjoy what your abs look like. So without further ado, our 3 exercises for today. We're going to start this one out on the floor. All right, so to set this up, and again, I'm kind of in a tighter space than probably what you'll be working out in, but what we want to do is we want to think about a straight line. So if I was laying on a mat, my legs would be in a straight line, shoulder, hip, foot. But instead, we want to pull the feet forward out of that straight line and towards the front of where the mat would be. So your hips would be at the back of the mat, your heels or your toes at the front, and that's going to create what's called a pike position here, where we're bent at the hip joint. We're going to take this bottom arm straight out in front of us on the floor. Top arm is going to go overhead. So I'm going to show you the modification first. Our modification, we start to follow up. As we lift, we actually roll to the backside. So I'm rolling behind me to pull those hips back. I use this other hand on the floor and I reach to the ankle with one leg. So this is a half teaser modified here. And we roll up and we reach to the ankle. So hand and leg are both reaching. So we really reach that midsection on the side, okay? Through those muffin tops, right? So to intensify this, we go both legs, but it's really important to remember that you've got to roll back some. So we bring it up and we reach. And then we bring it right back down. Now, if you're reaching and you're curved through that spine, we're going to end up not engaging the abs fully. So really tighten this stomach region, pull it in, long flat back here. This hand on the floor can help, and then right back down. Now, when it comes to doing ab works, the slower and more controlled that you can move, the better engagement you're going to get. So if you'll hold that stomach in tight and move with control through that movement, rather than trying to get 400 of them in those 30 seconds, see how many excellent versions you can get in that 30 seconds. So really push that form, work for quality form so that you get every bit of good out of that exercise that you possibly can. All right, so number 2 is our plank, but we're going to change up our plank a little bit because, you know, we can't do things boring here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to add a weight in. So your choice on the size of weight. If you've got any shoulder issues, I would definitely go with a lighter weight here because we're going to be supported on our forearms, but we're going to be using those shoulders to help us move this weight. So we do want to make sure that it's light enough to not cause any injury, but heavy enough to cause some benefit, okay? So we're going to place that down. We're going to go ahead and come into our plank position. I'm going to try and back up where you can see me here. Maybe that'll work. Possibly. All right, so what I've got here, in case you can't see, is my weight is right here on the outside of my forearm. I'm gonna lift up onto my toes if I'm comfortable with that, or stay on the knees to modify it, so it would be here, or it would be here, your choice. In either case, our back is not sagging, it's lifted up, our stomach is engaged tight, and our knees or our toes, whichever point is down on the floor, is gonna squeeze in towards the elbows. So we're actually creating a contraction inward, almost like we had a mat underneath us and we were gonna squish that mat up, okay? All right, so what we do in this position is we're gonna take it into our plank. We're gonna reach over without shifting the body weight, so we don't want any rolling here. You wanna keep the body nice and still, shift over, pick up that weight, pull it across the body. It goes on the outside of the forearm. Pick it up with the opposite hand, pull it across, put it on the outside of the forearm. We keep going with that for the time allotted or for the reps allotted. If you're doing the rep system with the ladder, you want to go 1, 1. So it's 1 on each side, 2, 2, rather than counting singles with 1 and 2. That way you get a full 10 reps on both sides. Now again, as you're moving that weight over, it doesn't have to be drastic and lift it over. It can be a slide over, but it does need to cross over your forearm without touching it. So you're trying to pick it up, move it to the outside, put your arm inside, pick it up, move it to the outside, put your arm inside. Again, you're trying not to rotate through the body, so we don't want any twisting through the shoulders, the hips, the legs. We want to try to keep everything as still as possible. Make it just the arm moving over to place that weight each time, okay? All right, so for exercise number 3, what we've got is a supine jackknife. So if you've done 30 seconds or more of each of those exercises, you should be feeling your core by now, especially if you've got it engaged right. So we're going to take it back into our jackknife position. And our jackknife position, we're going to start with our knees into our chest here. So we're going to tuck our hips under so that we feel that lower back press into the mat. We want to know that that lower back is going to stay the same. So between your ribs and hips, that spine is not going to lift and it's not going to lower. It's going to stay nice and flat so that we don't have any excess arching in the back. We're going to do that by engaging that core. So really tighten through the abs, tighten through the core muscles. Remember, the core goes all the way around. But we're really tightening through the abs, we're tightening through the core. We're going to maintain that spine, so we're going to stabilize it, okay? From there, the legs come up. We can modify the tabletop position with the shins parallel. We can go up to the ceiling to make it more challenging, your choice. But in either case, that spine stays right where it's at. The arms are going to reach straight up, and we're going to start out with arms and toes reaching together. Now, you'll notice that my shoulder blades just came up off the ground. Modify with the head down, otherwise head up, and that means the base of your shoulder blades lifting. So you should have a fist-sized space between your chin and chest at all times. If you feel like it's collapsing down, you need to rest that head down, take a break, come back into it when you can get good form. So we want that fist-sized space. We want the belly button pushing down. If you push it up, you're going to end up with a nice tight barrel. Trust me, we don't want that. So we're going to reach up to the toes. We're going to keep the form the same. Shoulders stay just this high. We're going to extend out to where we can maintain that spine. And then we're going to pull right back up together. So extend out, maintain your spine, pull it back in. If you notice the belly pushing up, that would also be a cue that you need to not go out so far. So we're coming out, we're coming up, and that's our exercise. So we've got those 3 ab exercises. And again, if you do them, you want to do A, B, C. So 1, 2, 3 on the exercises, and then go back through them again, and then go back through them again. So by performing that circuit, you're going to be able to fire different areas of the abs. So you notice that on that half teaser, we're working through the side, through our obliques. On our plank, we were working more through the rectus, through the front, and really engaging that rectus abdominis. And then on this jackknife, we're getting more of the rectus abdominis, but we're also getting the internal and external obliques fired up by holding that position in the way that we are. So if you've got questions, feel free to post them below. Otherwise, if you are ready to get some sexy abs, I've got a great secret coming up for you very soon. Hope to tell you all about it in the next few days. So be listening to that, or for that. So we're going to have something great coming out to really help to make those abs pop and really get you the stomach that you're wanting very soon. So can't wait to tell you more about that. If you want a consultation, feel free to give us a call, 806-322-3188. We would love to help make your health and fitness dreams come true. Talk to you soon.